So we're obviously talking about a recent article that has been published by yourself and obviously Equator about CRM. So first of all, why is CRM important, and what does the kind of article cover?
This article was really, really crucial for our clients to understand that when choosing a CRM tech stack, it can be a tricky landscape to navigate. One, because there are so many players out there for each of the vertical, but also because this is a capital investment and businesses would be looking at selection, RFP process, implementation of tools, integration. A lot of people are spending a lot of time in doing research on what they need and then finally getting the developers to implement and integrate. All of that comes with a huge cost. So all of these things we wanted to cover in this article to make sure that the companies understand what processes and what things need to be considered before implementation and selection of any of the CRM technology stack, because it's a huge investment in time as well as money.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's quite known in business, especially the differences between B2B and B2C, that CRM is very, very key.
Yeah.
But like you say, that not always people understand how many different kind of facets come into kind of implementing. What's the kind of the cost to the business as a whole? What is the end goal? You mentioned the kind of different verticals there, which are a huge consideration, because not every business will be right for one, but some businesses will be right for others. So there's a whole range of things to be considered there.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things that was mentioned within the article was a CRM tech stack.
Yeah.
So when looking at that as a kind of whole picture, what are the absolute bare bones that you would consider?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think when we talk about the absolute bare bones, we're talking about three main things. One is any piece of software and infrastructure which safely and securely holds your data and gives you an ability to run segmentation or pull data from that system. That's one first absolute crucial part of your CRM tech. The second part of it then becomes the marketing automation side of things, where then you can use that data and the segmentation to then create your campaigns targeted towards your customers. And then finally, number three is kind of the reporting on top of these two. So when you're able to pull those segments, report on how customers are moving from one segment to another and how they're engaging with the communications which you're sending out, whether they're emails, push notifications, or SMS, whatever they could be. So holding that data, building communications on top of it, and then reporting on how that performance is going, I think forms the absolute bare bones of a CRM kind of landscape.
Yeah, I think to talk about again, there's obviously the different elements. You've got the database, the automation, and then the reporting. Some individuals within certain companies will only be really wanting to know about the reporting and how the CRM is performing. But, the other side to that is that there's a lot of work that goes into kind of get to that reporting.
Yeah.
So from a tech stack perspective, understanding, what it is that you want, how to perform. And we mentioned B2B and B2C again. I think that's a really, really key consideration.
100%.
Me and you know ourselves, the levels of reporting that you have to do to some individuals is more or less.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's true for all organizations, that different tiers of management level will require different levels of reporting. So the top management is only interested in looking at conversion and the sales and the trading figures, whereas for the marketeers it's extremely important to look at all the engagement metrics. So your reporting tool needs to be able to facilitate that, where you can build out dashboards which are flexible, efficient, quick to build and automate as well, so to serve the different levels of the management for every organization.
Yeah. It comes back to that, the whole kind of ROI piece.
Yep.
Like you kind of mentioned in the article that, implementing a CRM is quite a capital investment.
Yeah.
Depending on whatever size of business, if that is a significant outlay for your business, then, you want to know that the efforts that you're going through, say it is a more B2C environment, that through the CRM you're generating income and seeing a return through the CRM that you're using.
Yeah, absolutely. And just on that, if you're able to get it right on the outset, should be able to show to the business the positive ROI you're getting through implementing that CRM system. That also facilitates the marketing directors and the marketeers to then go back to the management and say, we need more investment within this space, and then enhance our capabilities even furthermore. So Tom, I think you've got a lot of experience under your belt for the B2B side of CRM marketing. me myself, I'm more of a B2C person.
Yeah.
So you want to shed some light on what are the main objectives when you are looking at a marketing tech stack for B2B CRM?
Sure. So I think initially, kind of straight out the bat, when you look at the differences between B2B, B2C, obviously it kind of says it in the name. So B2B is business to straight to business.
Yeah.
And B2C is obviously straight business to consumer.
Yeah.
The key difference when you initially look at that is one of the obvious ones is the kind of sales funnel.
Yeah.
So sales funnel is, going through a cycle of client or business, very much at the top of the funnel, just interest, straight the way through to a closed deal.
Yeah.
So like closing that deal within the CRM. Traditionally within a kind of B2B environment, those deals will take significantly longer.
Yeah.
There's many more wheels in motion when it comes to kind of a B2B kind of sales funnel like that. Sometimes the relationships need to kind of be fostered, and that could involve different kind of sales teams, significant kind of automation.
Meetings, phone calls.
Exactly. So really kind of layering up that kind of that layer of trust, implementing, because it might be that it's a significant kind of capital investment, what you're looking to kind of implement with them.
So usually B2B deals are quite high value as well, so it takes a longer time for approval.
Yeah, within a general sense, we kind of looked at one recently, and the average deal age was about kind of 6 to 9 months.
Yes, makes sense.
So that's a kind of a key consideration, that if you're using a CRM, you make that significant kind of capital investment, you think, why am I not seeing an immediate return? Well, if you're marketing within the kind of B2B environment, you have to kind of bear in mind that be patient, work the kind of automation, and you mentioned the kind of the 3 pillars when it comes to tech stack. So you've kind of got that database.
Yeah.
You have a really strong automation tool, so utilize that from a B2B environment, and then what you'll have really good reporting from that. So that's from a B2B side. It's to kind of understand that the sales funnel is going to be a long time.
Yeah.
So that then kind of will build around the kind of skeleton of everything else within the kind of marketing environment.
Yeah. And I think B2C is similar, that the ultimate goal is similar, that you want to get more customers converted, more sales and more customers. But I think from a volume point of view, a B2C funnel is much broader. So you'll have like 500,000 customers, 50,000 customers, 1 million customers, as opposed to B2B would be much smaller. But the turnaround of the funnel could be very, very quick depending on the business. So for example, if you're talking about retail, you could be looking at a turnaround time of like 1 week or so. Whereas a business like an airline is also considered a B2C business, but you could be looking at only 1 transaction per year or 2 transactions per year, because they're high value transactions. So it really depends from business to business. So, but the ultimate goal, whether it's B2B, B2C, is the same. As you nurture your customers in a way that they stay engaged and ultimately convert. And you do that by engaging them with communications without overdoing that. So no spamming. To be really mindful of people's inboxes and phone calls, but ultimately get them to convert.